you all for your patience when I was going to go live earlier this morning, but got called away, so I had to postpone it till this afternoon. So hopefully a number of you can still join me this afternoon, or thank you if you're watching on replay. Doing a couple of cards for you today, or 3 actually, if I get the time. We'll see how we go. But before we start, I'll do a few promotional things, a few self-promotion things. I'm just going to check that my volume is okay. Bear with me for a second. Let's just check that, make sure that's working. Oh, yeah, it sounds like it is. That's my voice, all right. Anyway, so yeah, so a couple of promotional things. First of all, I'm having a launch party for the new August to December, or July to December actually, mini catalogue on the 11th of September. A lot of you have already RSVP'd and paid for that, so thank you very much. If you want to pop along to that, I need your payments by the 27th of August, which is next Friday. So if you're not sure if you've paid or not because of all the other things that I've offered, if you're not sure if you've paid for that one, please reach out and check. I'll just let you know that these are the 2 cards we will be crafting together at that launch party. There's a really cute little easel card there with the that uses the merriest moments and merriest frames dies. So that's lovely. It's a nice little Christmas easel card. I really like that embossing folder die combo there. So we're making that one, and we're also going to make this glorious rich coloured card with the Blackberry Beauty Designer Series paper and the die cuts there. So it's a lot of bling happening on that one. No actual embellishments. It's just all in the paper and the beautiful ribbon and things like that. So it's got some more paper on the inside as well. So these are the 2 cards we'll be making on the 11th of September, and that's what's included in your price of $20, as well as some other demonstrations and some free prizes, free gifts, and some prizes as well. I do have another class in September, and that is my fun fold or sentiment only card class, and this time we're doing these 3 designs. So this is the first time you guys have seen these. So we've got again, I'm featuring products from the annual catalogue and the mini catalogue. This one here is a cute little, you've probably seen this design on my page already. It's a gift card holder there. So the gift card goes in that little tab there with you writing your personal message on there. And then when it's on display, it sits up like this, like a sort of an easel there. So it's sort of on display for a lot longer. And that uses the sweetest, now what's it called? The sweetest stockings. No, hang on. Yes, no, the sweetest stockings, the designer series paper and the stamps and things from that. But as I say, you can use whatever sentiments you want. You'll get everything with the paper and everything to fussy cut out those little images there. So you've got this one. We've got this little cute one, which I really love, which I think is a sort of non-traditional Christmas colours. Again, uses the merriest frames and merriest moments. So that's just a little Christmas card there. So you'll get everything cut for that. All you need to do is add your sentiment. And this one here, which is the trimmings and tidings. So this is really nice use of the paper and the silver foil, and as I say, you just add your own sentiment to that one as well. So that's the 3 cards for my September fun fold no sentiment only class. So I'll be releasing that fairly soon as well, so watch out on my Facebook page. Okay, I think that's all the self-promotion I need to do today. So thanks for jumping on, everyone who's on. I can see I've got a fair few. I'll run through the names in a minute. But let's get crafting, because that's what I've promised we're going to be doing. So first of all, we might do this cute little fun fold using, again, the sweetest stockings, sweet little stockings it's called. I should at least remember these things when I'm going to feature them, shouldn't I? Yes, sweet little stockings. That's the die set, the stamp set, and the stocking dies. The stocking dies are really handy, and I've got a couple of ways of using them here. So if you weren't overly wrapped in the in the stamp set. You know, not everyone's cup of tea. The dies themselves have some interesting things if you just wanted to concentrate on those. But anyway, we're going to make this one today, and this is the one I've got on the event publicity. It's a sort of a Z fold, but it's got a sort of a gate aspect to it as well, with this piece jutting out across there like this. So yeah, so it's a really interesting fold, and I like that fold with this one because we get to use practically every image out of the stamp set in that sort of larger area of decoration, and it sort of folds flat like that. So behind is sort of like hidden until you actually open it up, which is really cute. Anyway, so as I say, I think I've used just about every stamp out of the set for that one. So let's get started. I have swapped the paper out. This is the paper from the sweet little Stockings bundle, so it actually goes with the dogs and the cats and the stockings. I've swapped it out because I do actually need that for my fun fold class. So if I go using too much of that particular paper, I won't have any left, and I won't be able to sell you guys your kits. But anyway, so I've swapped it out for something very similar. I think it's actually even retired the paper I'm going to use, but it's got the same colours involved. So I have here a card base, and it is 11 inches long, and it's been scored, and 4 1/8 inches wide, and it's been scored at 5 1/2 and 2 3/4. So that gives us our Z. And I think I said here a while ago, I think practically all our cards, our fun fold cards, tend to start with this basic Z, which is quite funny when you think about it. So we've got that Z. So then I've got a cherry cobbler cardstock, and that's cut a 1/4 inch smaller than the card base. So this one is 5 1/4 by 3 7/8. And I've got just one for the front here. So that's again 1/4 inch smaller. So it's 3 7/8 by 2 1/2. And then I've got other ones which I'll bring in shortly. And then I've got our designer series paper. As I say, it's a close match, but not quite. I think it's actually from last Christmas. It's got that one. I think it came with the poinsettias last Christmas, but it's pretty close to what we're doing here. So we might as well get those all. Did everyone lose me then? Did we lose my volume? I just pressed my button. I'm trying to keep it up here, but it went. But anyway, I think you can still hear me. Apologies for that if you did hear something weird happen. That was just me pressing forward on the button on my headset. Okay, so we're just going to layer these ones up. So I'm going to put the cherry cobbler first onto the pool party is the original card base. Just a little bit unusual combination. Sort of started really liking this colour combination last Christmas. It's not a natural one for me, but I think they actually go together quite nicely. And then I'm going to put the designer series paper. On top like that. So that's the back there. The other one we're going to decorate is the one that's on the very front when the card is closed. So again, I'm going to bring that in with the glue. I know I've got more glue in there. I just don't like to waste them when I know I can feel that it's there. Okay, so we've got the cherry cobbler again. Now try and line this up top and bottom and side so it looks like it's a continuous piece of paper there. Yep. And then I'll swap to another one. Might put this one in my upside down. Let it come back to the beginning. Okay, so let's try this one. Yep, this one's got a bit in it. Good, lovely. Okay, so we've got that paper on the front there as well. There we are. So we've got our Zs decorated there. Okay, so Put some extra glue in there, did I? Yes, I did. Okay, so we might leave that open so I can let it dry. Okay, so I've got the piece of white for the inside and the piece of white for this nice gate sort of look at the front, and these are all here as well. So the cherry cobbler is, from memory, 4 1/4 by 4 1/4 by 2 7/8, and then the white is 1/8 of an inch smaller. So we'll just layer these up as well. Very versatile fold, this one. As I say, you could decorate it with just about anything you wanted to. We've got that lovely surfaces to really display or make the most of your stamps and die cuts as well. So there we go. So we've got both of those. Okay. And as I mentioned, I've got just about every die cut, every stamp in the set here. Now this is really cute, this one with the little dog. So you dog and cat, and I think there's a hamster there as well. I didn't bother doing the hamster. You could personalise it. So say you're giving your card to a pet lover or to someone who has a bit of a menagerie at home. You could sort of personalise it. So, you know, say they've got a brown dog. That's supposed to be my dog there, but she's actually a sort of a more golden colour than that. But that's in crumb cake there. That's in sort of light and dark, sort of to give him a little bit of interest. And this is a black cat. So the one in the card itself, the first one I made, is a black and white cat. So that's based on my son and daughter-in-law's cat that's living with us at the moment. It's all young Maverick, so that's him on there, and that's supposed to be my Ruby, but I went with the black cat for this one. So we've just got a black cat. So then as well, if you're giving it to someone who's got, say, 2 cats or 2 dogs, or 3 cats and 3 dogs, you could sort of personalize that for them as well. Then it's got 3 sizes of stocking. So obviously it's there's a big one there, and a medium-sized one and a smaller one. So we've got 3 of those. So I've already stamped and coloured all those. The colours I've used are Cherry Cobbler, Old Olive, Pool Party. This is light evening evergreen, or early evening evergreen, and that one there is Cinnamon Cider. So there's just combinations of those 4 colours there. So just go mad, really. Just match it with your paper. They've got a little candy cane and a little Santa hat, which I'm going to pop onto the little dog as well, and a couple of these presents. So as I say, it's a nice little set just for general present giving, gift giving, because it's got those little 2 gifts in it as well. So it's really cute. Okay, so what we might do is, hopefully that's dried a little bit there. It's still a bit scummy, but anyway, it's okay. So we'll bring that first one in. And so what we're going to do is glue that to the front of our card, but exactly sort of, so it's the same distance top, bottom and sides when the card's closed, like that. So it looks like it's just sitting there in the middle of the whole thing. So we really just need glue on this sort of left hand half. Just, that's all we're going to glue. So we'll just bring that in there. Now, make that straight. The good thing with this paper is it's got lots of lovely dots on it, so I can line them up so they're nice and straight. Go over that way a little bit. There we are. So it's just got the glue on that left-hand side there. Okay, so that opens like that now. Okay, so we're going to bring in our large stocking. So this is going to be the one for our little puppy dog there. So he's going to sit there like that. And he's also going to have the Santa hat on like that as well. So I might pop the Santa hat on his head first with some glue, just a little touch there. Don't go too mad. And just pop that on his little head, just like that. There we are. And we all know how tolerant dogs are to wearing hats. Well, mine aren't. Mine would have that off in 2 seconds flat and have it eaten into shreds before I even managed to find the camera to take a picture. She's pretty quick like that. Okay, so I'm going to put the stocking on to the card. So I'm going to make sure I put it in the same spot as I did with the other one. So just there, just on the left-hand side, just like that. It's a fairly tall stocking, so if you can then imagine that our dog's head is going to go on top of it there. So just make sure you can fit all of that into the length of the card. Just like that, there's enough room there. Okay, so then I'm going to bring in the small one. Yep, the small one. And pop that next to it, and that's where our pussycat's head is going to sit. So just sort of there, off to the side. There we are. Okay, I'm actually going to pop these animals' heads onto dimensionals just to give them a little bit more, sort of make them look like they're actually sitting in the stockings. Not that I could get mine to sit for too long like that either. The hat would come off and the stocking would be destroyed as well. But anyway, we can live in hope. I'm just going to pop the little dog there. Okay, so there he is, sitting in his little stocking. And for the same thing with the cat. Just pop a dimensional on the back and put him there. So you position these so it looks like their little paws. I can bring that closer again. Looks like their little paws are sort of poking over the top of the stocking. Quite cute. Quite cute. Okay, so that's those two. What else are we going to do on the front? Okay, so I have the smallest tag from the tailored tag die set. So that's that there. So I'm just going to stamp that with one of the sentiments from the set. So we've got a couple of cuties there. We've got Santa Paws is coming to town, which is quite cute. It's quite cute for this sort of animal themed card. So I'm just going to use that one. It's a bit of a tight fit with this tag, so you could go up one size if you wanted to. I haven't in this case because it sort of covered a bit too much of everything over with the bigger tag. But you could go up one if you didn't mind covering things over. So just in some black ink. I'm going to have to bring it closer to me so I can actually see and get it straight, as I say, because it is quite a squeeze. Here we are. Here we go. Santa Paws is coming to town. Okay, so there we are. Now we do have a really lovely ribbon that comes with the Sweet Little Stockings collection. It's a pool party white combination ribbon. It's really sort of fresh. I think it'd be nice all year round, not just for Christmas. In fact, it's probably not traditionally what you'd think of when it comes to Christmas. So I'm just going to get a little bit of that one and pop that through the little hole in my tag. Just like that. And cut it a little bit long, so I'm going to trim it down. And then I'm going to grab some of the twine. Bear with me, I've left it over here. This metallic twine is also in the mini catalogue. And I can't remember, I bought new one, so I can tell you actually what it's called, because I bought a new one with here we go. Comes in a pack with some gold, so there's gold and silver. So I'm going to have to start using the gold, because obviously I haven't even bought the gold out of the bag yet, but the silver one, and it's the Simply Elegant trim. So you get gold and silver there. I think I used silver in a recent class and used a fair bit of it. So I'm just going to wrap that, just cut a sort of 10 centimetre 4-inch piece of that, not too long, and tie that around the ribbon just to secure it. So just in a normal just knot. People are coming and going from my house. I wonder which ones they are. Okay, so just tie that. Tie that off. It's my eldest. It's just pulled out in his car. Okay, so just tie that off. Just adds a little bit of bling. I'm not overdoing the bling on this one. I think there's enough happening as it is. I'm going to trim those little bits off. Obviously, I've made that ribbon far too long. There we are. I might trim that silver a little bit as well. So that's just a cute little tag, just a little cute little gift tag. You could do that on a bigger scale, just as a gift tag, really, because that's what it is. And then I'm going to pop it just on the card. So just that it's only going to cover a tiny bit of our little pussycat, but it's quite cute there, I think. So I'm just going to pop 2 dimensionals on it towards the left-hand end, just so it doesn't overlap too much. There we are. So just pop that there. Okay. So that's the front of our card. How do we like that? That's quite cute, I think. There are 2 little animals there. So I think for, as I say, you could customize that for just about any animal lover that you know. So inside, we're going to bring in this second panel of layered of white and cherry cobbler. So that's going to sit on the inside. And you'd be very careful to sort of line it up perfectly with the front one, so that when it's closed, it covers over completely. So you don't see it sort of overlapping. I'll just make sure that that's right. Oh, it's got to come down a wee bit. And a tiny bit more. There we go. There we are. So you wouldn't even tell it was there, sort of. Anyway, it's all good. We'll leave that there. And then what I'm going to do is bring in our other stocking and our 2 little prezzies and our sugar cane. Sugar cane, yeah. That's what we call it, isn't it? And I'm going to pop the stocking there over to the left. Now I'm going to use the Season's Greetings stamp from the stamp set. You could use, as I say, anything you want. It's quite a long sentiment, this one, so I'm going to stamp it first so that I can then bring in the other decorations around it. So just in black again. I'm going to bring it in from the left-hand side about the centre. Try and get it as straight as I can. Here we are. It's a big, bold, sort of chunky sort of font, that one. It's quite a lot going on with it. So I'm going to bring in our little present to the left-hand side of that, just sitting there. So you can see why I stamped that first. I didn't want to go too far. So I'm going to bring in the present, just sort of sitting behind it, and our little candy cane there as well. So I might actually glue those on first. Put glue all around. Quite a lot of glue, actually. Probably a little bit too much. And then put that where I want it. Just like that. And bring in our little candy cane as well. There we are. Add a little bit more glue to there. And pop those on. There we are. So in my original design, I was going to have both of those little presents in there, but I did actually drop the stamp on there and there was a bit of a smudge. So I actually dropped, I think I dropped this one on there and ended up with a big black splodge on there. So that's what I put that second present there to cover over the splodge. But I quite like it, so I'm going to do it with this one as well. There we go. I've admitted that I dropped a stamp, but there we are. Okay, quite good. Quite like that. I like that sort of inside as well. So obviously you can write your name and everything on there, which is really nice. And when you close it up, sort of the big reveal happens, which is nice. So yeah, I really like that design, that fold. You may well see that pop back in the future with various other things happening around it. I'll probably do it in a future fun fold class as well. So there we are. So that's that one. So that really takes advantage of all the little dies and stamps and everything from that Sweet Stockings bundle. And if you use the paper as well, I think that paper is really quite lovely. But as I say, I swapped it out because I need it for my lovely customers. So there we are. So that's that one there. Hopefully you like that one. So there we are. So if you get a Christmas card from me this year, you'll probably end up getting one of those. Okay, so second card, using the same Sweet Stockings. I decided to go a little bit simpler and to not really use the stamps at all. So I'm not a great colorer. I tend to get a bit bored. That's why I didn't make you all sit and watch me do these. I do like a card where you can actually just pop everything together and not have to get out the pencils or the blends or whatever. So I'm going to make this one here. Now, the highlight of this one is this little stocking. So this is the dies, the stocking dies. So I've just cut them out without doing any stamping or colouring or anything like that. I've just cut the die out, just straight with cherry cobbler. So just this one through the machine with the cherry cobbler. Then what you've also got in the die set, and I'll bring it just in so you can see, what you've got in the die set as well is these two little metal dies here. So one of them is obviously meant to be the toe of your boot, and the other one is to be the heel of the boot. So what I've done is cut those, and I wanted to stick with the evening evergreen colours. So I've cut those in evening evergreen. The boot itself is in cherry cobbler. And this here, this part here is this little, I don't know what you'd call it for a boot, this little cuff almost of the boot. It's this little thing here from the die set. What I've done is actually cut that in the felt. So the Sweet Stocking Sweet comes with some felt. And I've never made cards with felt before, so I was a little bit worried. And I have to say it is tricky to use. I found it tricky to use, but it is really nice if you just cut that with just a little piece of white felt. It just adds that sort of soft dimension to that little Christmas boot. So that's what I've used on the front of there. And then basically it's just layered up, and I have used the Merriest Frames embossing folder there from the hybrid embossing folder. And actually I've used it the other way up. I just used, rather than having it with the relief up, I've actually slipped it over so that the patterns are all sort of in negative. So, and they look quite effective actually. It's nice when it captures the shadows. Anyway, we'll just pop this one together real quick because I've basically explained to you what it is. It's going to be a landscape card, so it's going to open up this way. Okay, so then I've got a layer of, again, it should be cherry cobbler, but I'm using real red just because I had a nice, convenient sized scrap of real red. So real red, cherry cobbler, interchangeable in this one. And that's 1/8 of an inch smaller than my normal card base. So my normal card base, as I mentioned a million times, is 5 3/4 by 8 1/4, and it's scored at 4 1/8. Okay, so then I've got a piece of basic white, which is another 1/8 of an inch smaller, and I've popped it through the embossing folder that comes with the Merriest Moments or the Merriest Frames. It's this one here. If you don't get anything else this Christmas, I suggest you get this one, and it goes through. It's really nice. It's sort of, and it leaves this frame in the middle. So I'm actually, as I say, flipping it over just to be a little bit different. Yes, I'm such a rebel. I'm going to flip over my embossing folder. I'm going to use some double-sided tape just to attach that to the red layer. There we are. There we are. So we've got our little boot, which is going to sit off here to the side. Oh, in the original card, I actually used there's nice, it's really nice and it's good size. Sort of like a tag, I suppose, this thing here. I don't know what it's supposed to be. It's reminiscent of our stitch nested layers that we used to have with this sort of arrow at the end here, but it's got sort of, it's just a, I suppose you're actually supposed to use it on cards to sort of as a bit of a tag or something like that. But in the original card, I've used that to pop my boot on. You can see here. It wasn't too bad. I quite like it, but I thought I'd revert to the original little stitched rectangle that comes with the merriest frames for this one, just to have them a little bit different. Okay, so then I'm going to pop that. I'm going to put the sentiment on that first. So I think I'll use from the merriest moments, together is the merriest place to be. I haven't used this one yet. I'm going to use my evening evergreen if I can find it. Oh. Put down the button again. Oh, I hope you can still hear me. Might have to get a headset that doesn't have a button. Oh no, I'll take it around the back and then I won't. Now I'm all corded up. That's I maybe shouldn't push it now because I've put it at my back rather than my front. If I lean back on my chair, it could be a problem. Okay, together is the merriest place to be, and I've got my evening evergreen there. I'm going to pop it off to the right hand side so I can bring my boot in on the right. Yeah, that's really nice. I love these fonts of this Christmas's or these holidays sentiments. I think they're really, really special. I mean, that one's got several fonts happening, which is really nice. Okay, so we've got that. I'm going to pop that onto some dimensionals. And that will be the Christmas segment part of this crafting over and done with just about. I'll bring that in there. Bring in our boot. So I'm just going to pop the boot off to the left-hand side. Yeah. Just like that. So a nice, simple, sort of straightforward card, this one. The die set, as I mentioned, is really good. It's got lots of little individual parts, and it's got these, and I'm surprised I haven't lost them, to be honest. You know what I'm like with little pieces, tiny little holly leaves and berries. They're just the cutest thing. So we've got two. I cut two of them. I actually used it on my original card because I had a space there that I didn't like. I actually don't think I need them on this one because I think all the spaces are used. I'll pop it there with its berries. Pop it up in the corner there, I think maybe would be the only place for it to go. Maybe down here. Yeah, that's sort of cute, isn't it? Yeah, but they're really, really, really cute and quite fiddly, but quite delicate. So, and they add something as well. Maybe over here. I don't want to crowd my little boot too much, so I'll add those. I'm going to grab the putty from my take your pick tool, so I can deal with them. So I'm just going to pop some glue on the corner there, and then grab my leaves, my holly leaves, and my little berries. And I really like the dark colours, the sort of strong colours of the evening evergreen and the cherry cobbler against the stark white of the card base. And we'll pop him in there. And bring in our berries as well. Okay. So that one's done also. I'm quite happy with the angle of those leaves. Turn them around a little bit. It just doesn't balance for me. There we are. So there we are. That's a lovely, simple Christmas card there with the pop of those colours against the white. I really like that. You could add some rhinestones as well, give it a bit of bling, but I really like that as well. So that's our 2 Christmas cards for today. Seems like Christmas is going to be a long time coming this year because we've started so early. So we've got our little animals and presents using practically every stamp there is in that set, and then we've got this one which just concentrates on the die cuts and the felt as well. It's really cute. You just want to touch that felt. It's really nice. Okay, so hopefully you like those. Okay, so if we've got time, what time are we up to? Oh yeah, we've got time. I thought I'd tempt you, or what I tempted you with earlier on my Facebook page was these cards using, and I'm talking while I'm looking because I've moved them and I don't know where they are. Oh, here we are. These cards here using the sort of stamped background technique. Oh, I don't think it's really a technique, but it's just basically like making your own designer series paper with the stamp. And this is one of my favourite stamps at the moment. I got halfway through finishing these cards, as you can see. Favourite stamp at the moment, and it's just such a bonus that it's free. It's the Delicate Dahlia Saleabration freebie. It's one of the more expensive freebies, if that makes sense. You have to spend 180 Australian dollars to get this particular stamp. Although if you do come along to my launch next month, I have one of these to give away. So you never know your luck. You might score it, as a prize, a lucky door prize at the launch if you're coming along to that. So yeah, I have one of these, but I've used the stamps there on these 4 cards, basically starting with just a single piece of paper, A4 paper, and going crazy with the colours. So if you'd like to continue watching, I thought I'd make those as well and just show you how simple and quick it can be to make 4, because you get 4 from the single sheet of paper, sort of cards with this wonderful free stamp set. The colours I've used are probably a little bit unusual for me again, although they're very similar to the pool party. It's the big flower is in balmy blue, the leaves are in mint macaron, and the small bloom is in Highland heather. And I've backed them on a card base of Highland heather with a layer of balmy blue in between the two. This ribbon I've started to sort of mount this one up. This ribbon here is a very old retired ribbon, I think from Saleabration a couple of years ago, but it's perfect with the balmy blue. It is a balmy blue ribbon. So I'll just show you how to make that background, and you'll see just how quick and easy it can be. Okay, so I'm just tidy up things. I've got things everywhere here, so just bear with me for a minute. Oh, where are we? So I'm going to need my foam sheet here because it's a photopolymer stamp. So to get full coverage, I'm going to use my foam sheet underneath. Just going to get rid of these. Just bear with me for a second. Or else I'm going to get terribly, terribly confused. Don't need that anymore. So I've got my everything all blocked up here, I think. There we go. And I've got my 3 colours here. Just move that out of the way. Don't want that. Okay, so I'll bring this back because I'm going to need the sentiment out of it. Oh, as I said, I've got my Balmy Blue, my Mint Macaron, and my Highland Heather. So I'm going to start with, generally when you do this sort of big overall stamping sort of effect, you start with your biggest images first, and then you can come in and around them with the smaller ones. So just make sure I've all lined up with my paper there. So with my Balmy Blue and my nice lovely big dahlia, love dahlias. I've got one in my garden that my mum rescued from her mum's house before it was sold as part of the estate. And Mum bought these dahlias. We all got one, sort of planted it in our garden, and they are so sturdy. So yeah, I think we had to dig it up a few years ago to fix the water lines. We had to dig up this dahlia, and it had all the big bulbs underneath the ground. And my husband didn't get the chance to bury it for quite some time, so it might have been weeks and weeks because the work was going, and he finally buried this dahlia bulb, and I thought, oh, there we go, Nan's dahlia's gone. And sure enough, after a few weeks, or the next spring, it came again. It was pretty strong stuff, I suppose, because they've got that big corm under the ground. They sort of store what they need. Anyway, I'll stop talking and start stamping. So basically what you're going to do is with your big stamp, your big main stamp, just come in and sort of up the middle. You're basically putting, sort of, if you imagine there's a line going up from sort of diagonally up, you're sort of going to come in above and below that line. I might swap that block because that block is causing me to make horrible splodges on my paper, and I don't like it. So it's a little bit thin. I think my hand comes in contact with the paper a bit more than it should. I'll swap to a thicker one. There we are. Okay, so basically up this, as I mentioned, this sort of diagonal, you come up either side of it from one corner to the other. Yeah, and you are going to go off the edge, so don't worry too much about that. And then to fill in the gaps, once you've done that, you need to come in sort of the same sort of thing the other way. So this is going to basically cover the whole surface of our cards. Basically, just fill in all the big gaps with your main image. There we are. Probably a bit too much space there, but that'll be fine. I'll fill it with something else. So that's our Balmy Blue. Now I'm going to bring in my Mint Macaron with our leaves. It's not the natural green that I would have chosen with this, but I think it looks just lovely in the end result. So, and I'm going to do it full strength. So, but it does dry a little bit lighter, this one, I've noticed. So it looks pretty stark there, but as I say, it will dry a little bit lighter. So just pop 2, 3 leaves coming out of your main image there. So the end result here is that we're going to pretty much cover the whole piece of A4 paper with our beautiful dahlias. So where there's a space that looks big enough for a leaf, just go for it. That's pretty already, isn't it? I love the two colours together. It's just divine. Try not to go over too much. I've gone a little bit over there. I probably shouldn't have gone quite as close to my dahlia. That's all right. Here we are. I think that's about it for that particular one. Okay, so around the rest of that, I'm going to bring in this really cute little sort of flower, just nondescript flower. And I'm going to bring in my Highland Heather. Make sure that my focus is all right there. I think I'm moving around a bit much and the camera doesn't like it. Okay, so with our Highland Heather, and I'm just going to pop these just basically everywhere. And I think this really lifts it as well. I know I usually say that my greens lift things, but I think this one actually lifts it quite lovely. Noisy there. So just keep going and going. I should be rotating my stamp a bit, shouldn't I? Because it's going to be a little bit samey. First rule is always rotate your stamp. If you're just starting out, just make it look a little bit different. And I broke the rule then. Isn't that just pretty? That's so pretty. Okay, those colours together, just really, really nice. Let you get a bit closer to that. Okay, so one last thing I'm going to do, and you could quite easily leave it at that, was hoping that, I couldn't remember, I was hoping that the stamp set would have had a little like spray, just a little spots, but it doesn't, unfortunately. So I'm going to bring in this little, there's a little tiny leaf here that I thought could go well with these flowers all the way around. So I'm just going to, and you may well fall asleep waiting, watching me. I'm just going to bring in, just fill in the little spaces with our little leaf there. Just clean that off. I've got a bit of too much ink everywhere. I'm going to have a splodge accident. Nearly there. complained to my boss the other day that my wrist was sore, and I tried to blame the hours and hours and hours a day that I spent on the computer. And oh dear, that's terrible. You're going to have to get an ergonomic setup or something like that, blah, blah, blah. And then I'd made the mistake of telling him that I'd spent like 4 hours on the weekend sort of guillotining and cutting and stamping and preparing kits and everything. And he went, well, you probably shouldn't complain to me about your wrist, because obviously it's not just work related. It's a fair bit of what I do at the weekends as well. So if I ever go for workers' comp, I'm going to be sorely disappointed, because yes, I'm pretty sure I wouldn't get it, because it's all self-inflicted home stuff. Anyway, so there we are. So that's our sheet. Isn't that just really lovely? It's really nice. I think that's, if I design a series paper, that's exactly what it would look like. There we are. So really basically all you need to do now, and I'll just get rid of my little piece of foam, is cut this up into our 4 pieces, our 4 sort of cover pieces. And this is probably going to break your heart, because I know it broke mine. You basically cut it down into the 4 pieces and then just trim it to the size you want the layer. And as I say, I've then added it to Balmy Blue and Highland Heather, and you make these beautiful cards. So we're having a spring themed swap in my group this time round. So everyone's going to be getting these, well, 8 people are going to be getting these beautiful Dahlia cards. So what I've done, as I say, is I've layered it up with the Balmy Blue and the Highland Heather. I've tucked this beautiful retired ribbon in behind so that I can capture it there. I'm going to do is grab a sentiment box of some sort, and I hadn't actually got this far, but I might as well keep going. Which sentiment one will I use? Tasteful Labels, maybe Tasteful Labels. So here's my 2 favourite sentiment box stamps die sets. So we've got our Stitched So Sweetly, which always seems to come out whenever I'm looking for a sentiment. I think in this case that one's a little bit big. I don't want it that big. But it's going to be a spring based card, so I'm going to grab the spring. I think the only thing I can think of with spring is the tulips. I wonder if Elizabeth's watching. She'd tell me whether there was a spring based sentiment, somewhere. I think it's Timeless Tulips has it. Oh, I'm just looking. I've come away from the camera a little bit, guys, so just bear with me while I find my tulips. And I'm all tied up with my cord. Is it in this one? Easter and spring. That's sort of more northern hemisphere, isn't it? What have we got? What a beautiful difference one single life makes. That's sort of nice. I like that. And that's sort of a spring sort of thing. I'm going to use that one. What a difference. I don't think I've used, all the years I've had this stamp, I don't think I've used it. Okay, so we need something that's going to fit that. Let's have a look at this one. Nope. So I don't think there's anything in my fallback set for this particular one. I might have to go to Tasteful Labels. Go in there, you. Let's have a look here. This is my other favourite. What about this one? No. That one, yes, but is it too big? No, it's not too bad. What else have we got? Are we sure that one wouldn't fit? No, I don't think it would. We'll go this one. I can always change it for the future ones. I'm only going to make the one just to show you how they end up. So I'm going to grab some white cardstock. If I had some here somewhere, I thought. Oh, where are you? There we are. Nice little strategic appropriately sized scrap. Now, I don't think I want to stamp this in black because I think it's going to be too stark in black. So I might tone it down a little bit and do it in Gorgeous Grape, which, let's face it, is just a darker version of Highland Heather. So what a beautiful difference one single life makes. Isn't that nice? And so true. Here we are. I think they're going to like that in the Gorgeous Grape. Pop this through my machine. Might bring my baby machine in. Hello, baby machine. Oh, as long as there's not too many crashes and bangs. Sorry, I haven't been looking at my Elizabeth, I saw that you weren't near your library. You should have your library ready, my dear, just so you can tell me when I've gone astray. That's all right. Okay, so we'll pop that on there. Pop that on there. I really look forward to the day that they bring in a magnetic plate for my little baby machine. Really could use one. Hopefully one day soon. Pop that in there. It's not as clumsy as it looks. I'm just doing it left-handed and back to front. So all clumsiness is actually me. Okay. Pop my baby away. So I'm going to bring that there and pop that on dimensionals as well. I can find my dimensionals. Little ones will do. And then I'm going to tie a bow around the other side of that ribbon. Just bring in a little bit more of that balmy blue ribbon. There's a pretty sort of sparkly Christmas ribbon from, I've got that as well, but I think I like this one for this. Sparkly ribbon would have taken away from our background a little bit too much, I think. Okay, so we'll pop that there. There we are. As I say, bring in a little bit of the blue ribbon to tie a bow. And then some rhinestones, I think, and I'm done. And that's the first of my swap cards done. So if you'd like to be in our little group and you live in Australia, if you just, I think I attached the group to this page. It's called Card Making, Papercraft and More Australia. We have a monthly swap, and this month it's been organised by my dear friend Jenny, and she's picked spring and flowers and, what was it, christenings as well, new beginnings anyway. So I don't have any christening ones, so we've gone flowers instead. But anyway, if you're in Australia and you'd like to be part of that little group, just pop through a joining request and I'll let you in, as long as you're not a demonstrator. It is just a customer group. If you're a demonstrator, probably not for you. Although I do have a few there. Okay, so there's not quite straight. My ribbon needed to be a bit longer on one end, but anyway, we'll get the idea. There we are. Trim that off. Isn't that lovely? And I'll bring some bling in, and that's the first done. I really like that. So I'd love to see if you guys give this sort of stamped background a bit of a go. I'd love to see what you come up with. Do we reckon pearls? Yeah, maybe pearls. Yeah, I'd love to see what you come up with, what colour combinations and stamps you use. Thinking actually I might try the next one with the merriest moments and see what that looks like. Just give it sort of a Christmassy theme. We'll see how that goes. Yeah, okay, I really like that. That sort of makes me feel like spring is on the way. I really like that a lot. Yeah, well, I've said that several times. You guys know that now. Hopefully you like it as well. And as I say, give it a bit of a go and show me what you come up with. Obviously, I'll put a white panel on the inside, but that's my swap. There you go, ladies. If you're in the swap, that's what you're going to get. Okay, so thanks for joining me, everyone. Yeah, it's really nice. I might pop a picture of all 8 cards when I finished sort of matting and creating it from this beautiful one that we've just made together today. So yeah, really, really nice. I might try it in a few different color combos as well. Okay, so thanks for joining me today. As I say, my launch party is on the 11th of September. If you'd like to be a part of that, please let me know and pay before the 27th, which is this coming Friday. If you're not sure whether you've paid or not, please reach out. I'd hate you to think you've paid and then end up not being allowed into the group, because it's going to be hosted through a private group. So I need to be able to let you into the group once you've sent your payment through, and post your kits as well so we can all craft together on the day. Anyway, it's been lovely to have you all here. Thanks for your lovely wishes for Mum. She's home. She's in her own bed and a lot more comfortable, and she'll be able to swear at the football tonight, which is what she loves to do. Yes, when the players don't do what she thinks they should do. Anyway, okay, thanks very much, guys, and I will see you all next time. Okay, bye.